All right, friends, we're starting off laying down, so get nice and comfortable and give yourself time. Take some really big breaths in and out as you stretch through all your fingers and toes. And just relax your whole body into the floor. Notice each breath getting longer and your body getting softer and more relaxed. Big breath in. Filling up all the available space with breath. And big exhale. Pulling your belly button in towards your spine, compressing the air out all the way. So take some time here just cultivating several rounds of really deep breath to fire up your torso and your back from the inside. And in this time, you have a chance to mentally and physically reset. When you're breathing deeply and you're really aware of what's happening in this moment, you get to choose to be really attuned to that breath in the body. Big inhales. Big exhales. So hopefully you notice that just as a result of being still and breathing deeply, your body's softened and relaxed into the floor. Hopefully you feel some extra spaciousness across your chest, okay? Humans tend to collect a lot of our tension there. So maybe scoot your shoulder blades underneath your rib cage a little more. Feel your chest really doming big and broad up away from the floor. Breathe into all that extra space. But as big and spread open as your rib cage is, allow your belly to be strong on the exhales. Okay, all that tissue across your belly wraps around your low back in the back. And that is your low back support system. So when we breathe deeply, we always have the strong belly muscles in mind, drawing that belly inward on the exhale. Okay, friends, keep your focus on your breath and on how you're feeling, and we'll start to add some movement. Okay, so inhaling here, reach out really long through your hands and feet. Take a really good stretch, like you just woke up and you feel great. And then remember, when you stretch your arms up overhead, you still want to keep your neck long, so don't let your neck disappear. Okay, one more big breath in here, get a little longer. And then with your exhale, pull your knees into your chest, hands to your shins. See if you can move your knees and your forehead close. You decide how close. And then inhale, get nice and long. Reach out through your fingers and toes. And then again, exhale, pull your knees in, grab your shins, tiny ball. Again, inhale long. Exhale, tiny. Okay, now I want to do a few more like this. So find a little rhythm. Feel how your spine flexes and then extends. Notice the role of your strong core as you breathe. Okay, pulling that belly button into the spine, keeping the low back Super safe, especially when you pull the heavy legs inward. Okay, next time you curl into that tiny shape, hold it right there and breathe. Really getting your core fired up. If you need to rest your head, then you're just gonna rest your head and keep your knees in. Stay with it, okay? Keep breathing here. Could you lengthen your neck wherever you are? All right, one more long, slow breath in this core activation challenge. And then slowly unroll yourself. Drop your feet to the floor by your hips and make some cactus arms out to the side. All right, you can give your shoulder blades a nice tuck underneath your heart here and just enjoy that spaciousness in your rib cage. And then take your feet a bit wide. And drop the knees side to side. Windshield wipers, waking up your hips. Nice and slow with this, nice and easy. Okay, find maybe a little pause at the end of each range of motion, okay, each side, where you kind of linger and you feel that inner and outer hip opening. Okay, allow that whole joint to be massaged and moved, each hip. But we also have this lower back, okay, a lot of joint movement there as the low back twists and wrings itself out. Okay, so next time your knees come back into center, pause it right there. Then bring those feet up off the floor. Tuck your hands behind your knees and rock yourself up. Okay, take some time, rock it up and down. Take a few. Okay, rock it up. This time, rock it up into a boat and see if you could balance there. Hold and breathe. Okay, remember your modification for boat is you can drop your feet, but you're still leaning back with a really long spine and a big chest. Okay, if it's okay to pick up your feet, hang right here. Gonna get a little more core work happening. So feel free to drop your feet in fingers, but I just want you to roll your low back onto the floor. So just roll your low back down. Okay, you can keep your knees in your hands or not. And then keep breathing as you roll yourself back up to a boat. Okay, now this could be assisted by fingers and toes or not. So let's try it again. Inhale, roll to your half boat, Ardha Navasana. And exhale, roll back up into your boat. So I'm really asking you to challenge your core here. Stick with me. Inhale to roll it back. Exhale, roll it back up. You can do 3 more. Okay, if you need to modify, put your feet down and maybe use your hands and your elbows. You can use all the help you need. 2 more. Nice and slow and controlled. 1 more. Now hold this one. Next time you come up to a boat pose, hold here. Breathe. Okay, let that heat gather in your legs, in your core. If you need a break, drop those feet, okay? But I want to take 3 more breaths here in your boat pose, okay? Feet down or not. If everything's feeling pretty good and you want to move deeper into it, you'll extend your knees and point your toes away from your hips. You can do the same with your fingers, okay? Reach away from your shoulders. Take your last breath in here, your long spine. And exhale here, drop your feet in front of you. What a nice challenge for your core and your hips. Okay, shake it off. Drop your knees to one side and come to hands and knees. All right, friends. Tuck your toes here, lift your knees, lift your hips. Come to downward facing dog. Walk out your heels. Shake your head. Yes and no. And it's all right if you keep your knees really bent here. If the legs feel tight, you can keep the knees soft, bendy. But do your best to keep your upper body really strong, pushing the floor away so that your arms are just about in line with your spine. And then you can always bend the knees to allow that to happen if you need. Okay, here in your downward facing dog, take a big breath in, move your heart forward and find a plank pose. Exhale here, step that right foot forward next to your right hand, okay? And then inhale here, step the left foot forward next to your left hand. Go ahead and lift your hips here, big exhale, push the floor away. And then inhale, drop your hips back down, look forward. Kind of a weird frog squat. Let's do it again. Exhale, push the floor away, lift your hips. Inhale, drop your hips, malasana squat. Looking forward. Let's do it one more time. Exhale. Inhale, back to that squat. Nice. Go ahead and step yourself right foot back, left foot back, and hold here in plank and breathe. Now remember, you can drop your knees, okay? Hold and breathe with me, okay? I'm thinking we can hold this for 20 more seconds, and I know you can. So remember to drop a knee if you need, okay? Now push the floor down, pull your belly button into your spine, and use your legs to push the floor, okay? Don't feel like your upper body has to do everything. Whew. Let's do this for 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Press it back to a downward facing dog. Walk it off. Okay, inhale. Move your heart forward. Find a plank. And exhale. Left foot next to your left hand in a lunge. Inhale. Right foot next to your right hand. And then exhale from your squat. Push the floor away. Lift your hips and drop your head. Again, inhale, hips down, heart up. Malasana squat. Exhale, push the floor. Forward fold variation. One more, squat. Push the floor. Nice. Bring your hips back low again. Step left foot back, right foot back, and hold this plank again. Hold and breathe. Okay. I'd like to do about 30 seconds. Breathe here with me. Use your knees if you need them. Push the floor down. Push with your feet too. Pull that belly button inward. You're almost there. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. Press it back to a downward facing dog. Walk it out. Okay, so should be feeling nice and warm here at this point in the practice. Hopefully that down dog's feeling a little more open in the backs of the legs. Let's start to move and flow here a little bit. Okay, inhaling here. Let's get the right leg up in the air. Exhale here. Move that right knee towards your right elbow. See if you could hover there, just hovering for a moment. Let's do it again. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, right knee forward. A little hover. See if you could scooch the knee a little higher. Inhale, send the right leg back. Exhale, send that right knee forward and then scooch it a little higher this time. Let's hold for 1 full breath in. And 1 full breath out. Nice. Inhale here. Send the right leg up in the sky. And then exhale. Send the right knee forward and pause. Plant the right foot just about underneath your heart. Okay. I'm going to drop that left heel to the floor. And use the right knee with your hands. Press yourself up to a standing posture. Okay, so we'll here explore pyramid pose. Go ahead and get your arms up in the air. You can touch your fingers together, or even put your hands on your hips if they get tired. See if you could come up on your left toes. Okay, we're gonna play with balance a little bit. So come up on your left toes. Remember to push your legs down into the floor and slightly pull them inward. So they're very engaged all the time. See if you could also come up on your right toes. What a fun balance. So breathe here with me. Pyramid pose. Can always put some more foot down if you need to. Keep pushing the legs down into the floor, pulling them inward. Okay, now we're gonna have a real funky challenge. You could take your hands to your hips, maybe, just to get some weight off that upper body. But roll your shoulders down your back and see if you could hinge at your hips, moving your heart slowly forward over that right leg. At some point, if you have to put your foot down, that's okay. Hold and breathe. See if you could get your upper body just about parallel with the floor, okay? And then you can put your hands on your right leg if you need to, or if you want to work your shoulders, you can reach your fingers forward. Whew, this is making the legs really warm. So one more big breath right here. Tippy toe pyramid pose. And then with your exhale, you're gonna bend that right knee and step down into the right foot again, okay? Drop that left heel to the floor as well. And then slowly extend the right leg. You can walk your hands all the way down to the ankle if you like, and maybe even to the floor. Let's breathe here for a moment. Pyramid pose. Think of pulling your hips back here, lengthening your spine to the best of your ability. Press the floor away with that right leg and pull the heels toward each other. And maybe you just allow your spine to drape over that right leg. Pyramid pose. One more big breath in here. And then we're going to let it go. So bend into that right knee. Walk the hands forward. Okay, back into that lunge with the right foot underneath your heart. And we'll come up to a three-legged dog from here. So with your inhale, right leg up in the air. Okay, exhale, bend that right knee, point the toes to the left. We're going to scorpion this side. So remember to drop the right shoulder and pull the left hip back. All right, one more big breath in here. Scorpion pose. Maybe look under that left arm. See your foot. And then we're going to let it go. Bring that right foot back to the floor. Downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk out your heels here. Okay, and then walk all the way to your hands. Take a moment just to fold and hang. Okay, see if you can feel the difference in your legs after that pyramid pose, kind of firing it up. Okay, and then we're going to roll it up here, pressing into your feet. Roll yourself all the way up. Big breath in while you do that. Arms up. Maybe look up at your hands with a tiny back bend. Now exhale here, hinging at your hips. Come all the way down. Palms are down. Shake it out. Halfway up on your inhale, looking forward. Big fold on your exhale. Hug your legs. Palms down. With your inhale, step it back to your plank. Okay, we're going to keep flowing. Exhale, roll or lower yourself slowly to the floor. Okay, inhale for a cobra. Tailbone points down. Pull your heart up. And exhale here, downward facing dog. Press it up through plank and back to that down dog and walk it out. Take some time here in downward facing dog. Okay, you can always take a break, but push your hands into the floor, push your feet into the floor, lengthen all the sides of your torso and draw those elbows inward. Nice breath here. Okay, let's start to move into the left side. Inhaling here, friends, left leg up in the air behind you, 3-leg dog. Exhaling here, left knee to left elbow. Get it nice and hovery there as you exhale. And then inhale, send the left leg back. 3-leg dog. Again, exhale, left knee to left elbow. Maybe this time slide it up a little higher. And then again, inhale, send it back. Exhale, pull that left knee forward. This time slide it up really high and hold for a full breath in and out. All right, inhale the left leg in the sky, 3-leg dog. And this time, setting up for pyramid pose. With your exhale, send that left knee forward and then pause to drop that left foot under your heart. Okay, just about. And then drop that back heel, the right heel. You can use your left knee to press all the way up to standing. Setting up for pyramid pose. Now keep in mind, for this pyramid pose variation that we're playing with, you don't have to lift your heels necessarily. Maybe you keep your heels down. So feel free to explore that option. Arms up overhead. Start to press down into both feet, pull them in toward each other. So get strong before you try to balance. First, lift up the back heel. See if you could just come up on the back tippy toes. Keep the legs pressing down into the floor, then lift up the front heel. Okay, hold and breathe here. It's kind of a funky challenge, so stick with it. So the cool thing about this is because we're balancing, it's getting all the muscles of the leg nice and warm. So a fun little challenge here. Now, little extra challenge to play with. Go ahead and take your hands to your hips and start to fold, hinging at your hips. So pull that tailbone back as you fold forward. You might decide to stop halfway. You might decide to stay parallel with the floor. Okay, but hold and breathe. And then for a little extra spice, reach your hands forward. Stick with it. Let the legs get warm. How about one more big breath in here in this funky variation? And then allow the heels to drop. You can bend that left knee and allow both heels to come down to the floor, okay? And then slowly extend that left knee and walk your hands down toward that left ankle or the floor. Okay, settling in to a more gentle pyramid pose, a more relaxed. Still drawing the feet in toward each other and pushing the floor gently away. So you want to just imagine draping your spine over your left leg. You can keep the spine lifted, however. You're just inviting length into it, however that manifests for you. Taking your last breath here in your pyramid pose, a really powerful opener and warmer for that whole left leg here. And then we're letting it go. So bend into that left knee. Take the hands out in front. Back in the lunge where we started. Just pop up that right heel. And with your inhale, left leg up in the sky. Exhale here, bend that left knee. Shoot the toes over to the right and pause for a scorpion moment in which you pull your right hip back and look under your right armpit to see your foot. And then lift the knee even more. Hold and breathe here. Nice opener for the back of the right leg and that left hip. And then let's let it go. Drop the left foot to the floor. Downward facing dog, walk it out. And then walk to your hands. Again, take a moment just to hang and swing. Maybe grab your elbows here, allowing your arms to hang like a picture frame around your head, leaving a lot of space around your neck. Okay, if that feels spacious and it feels good, maybe you take your hands together behind your back and just move them away from your heart. Okay, go ahead and let go of your hands if you join them behind your back. Palms to the floor. Step one foot back so that you can come long ways on your mat. Okay, you're going to come sideways so that you're the long thing on your mat this way. And then walk your feet out away from each other, just enough, hands under shoulders, to find a nice little wide leg forward fold. Okay. And you want to think of your spine having enough space to be long. So your hands are far enough away from your feet. All right, so from here, once you feel settled in, start to press your feet down into the ground and slightly pull them in, of course, as always. And then bend into one knee at a time, bending your left knee and then your right. So taking the hips side to side. So you're starting to get a little bit more into the inside of each leg and hip. Keeping the spine as long as you can the whole time. Okay, and if you kind of flex your feet and lift your toes here, you can get a really nice opening along your feet and ankles. Okay, so here, pause when you're back at center. Turn your heels more in and your toes more out, and then bend your knees here. So you can bring one hand to each thigh and press yourself up to a supported horse pose. Okay, so supported horse pose is nice because it kind of takes all the hard work out of a horse pose. Take your hands to the inside of each thigh, just above where your knee connects to your thigh, and just push the knees back and away from each other. So your heart is kind of pressing forward out of that. And it's important to remember not to let your shoulders come up by your ears. So keep your neck really long. So you've got the knees pressing back, the neck is nice and long, and you should feel some nice freedom and length across your spine. And this is an ideal place for us to twist. So inhaling with your long spine, you push your legs away. Okay, with your exhales, drop that right shoulder. Drop your right shoulder and look over your left. So twisting. Inhale back to center, still pressing your legs. And exhale, drop the other shoulder, look over the other shoulder. Okay, so back to center, inhale, and we're just going to take a few times side to side like this. Should feel really nice across each inner thigh. Okay, but focus on keeping your neck long and keep pressing your legs away. Nice and slow. Maybe one more time on each side, okay? Feels nice. All right, next time you come back up to center, hold it right there. Okay, let go of your legs and reach your arms up so that your hands float above your shoulders. And hold right here and breathe. Okay, if you could point your heels a little more inward, go ahead and do that now. toes a little more out. And if you could sink your hips a little lower, go ahead and do that now. And hold and breathe. Is this challenging? It is challenging, but you can do it. If you need to back out, you just lift your hips, okay? Keep breathing. Horse pose. Now let's play around a little bit in this posture. Okay, keep your belly button pulling in. Keep your legs strong and active. Take the left elbow to the left knee. Okay, flip the left palm up and the right arm up overhead, reaching to the left. Hold and breathe. Keep pushing into your legs. Reach that right hand overhead. Okay, remember, if you need a break, just lift your hips. Just stay with it. Okay, bring it on back to center. We're gonna try the other side. Right elbow to right knee, right palm flips up. That left arm can gesture overhead to the right. Breathe. All right, one more breath in here, long spine. And then bring it on back to center. Keep breathing. Okay, finally, press into your heels, lift your hips. Wow, your legs probably are feeling so much right now. Go ahead and pivot on your heels, turn your toes inward, grab onto your hips, and fold yourself all the way down. Think of allowing the top of your head to point straight at the center of the earth. And take a little time here just to enjoy this fold. Maybe drop your hands to the floor and then walk them back behind and beyond your feet so that the fingers still point in the same direction as your toes. But you can help the top of your head point at the ground here. Pull the elbows inward. Allowing all the space in the backs of your legs to open up. Okay, take your time here. Maybe take one more breath. Remember, you can always bend your knees to make it a little easier. And then start to walk your hands out away from your feet so they're underneath your shoulders. And then you'll just shimmy your feet toward each other. And then hug your legs here. Okay, put a nice bend in your knees. You can grab one calf in each hand. And just hug yourself. Allow your low back to be nice and open and neutral here. Allow your head to hang. Okay, from here, just bend your knees and come all the way down to a seat. And shake your legs out in front of you. Okay, hopefully the legs feel nice and warm and healthy. We did some good work in them today. Okay, go ahead and rock over onto your left hip and swing your right leg behind you. Okay, you're gonna bend that left knee and we're gonna work ourselves into a pigeon pose. So we'll kind of enter it from rolling over like that. So that way you get to adjust the angle of your left foot to your hips, okay? Closer to you will get you more of a gentle pigeon pose. If you move the foot further away, it's a little bit more in that left hip. So you decide. But eventually you've found the spot and then you're gonna rock that right hip real close to the ground so that the whole top of the right leg is on the floor, okay? All right, so take your time. Make sure your hips are nice and level here. And then I just wanna play a little bit with bending that right leg and pointing that right toe up at the ceiling, okay? And you can kind of play with pointing it at the back of your head maybe. And then maybe you try it a few times. Extend the knee and bend the knee. See if you can point it at the back of your head. A few more. It's a nice glutes and quad yoga workout. Let's do 2 more. Strengthening that back body. 1 more. Okay, maybe hold this one. Maybe walk your fingers back a little bit and think of moving your heart up as that toe points at the back of your heart. Okay, 1 more breath here, funky little pigeon pose. And then let it go. Release your little tail back down to the earth. Walk your hands out away from your hips and sink all the way down to the ground. Okay, keep your legs a bit active here, as always, gently pressing the floor away. Gently drawing the knees inward. You could stay facing the earth here, or you could add a little funky twist, okay, by sliding your right arm underneath your left and allowing that right shoulder to come down to the floor. Okay. You can take both hands out, interlace your fingers, and straighten that left arm. And this might feel nice across the back of your ribs. Okay, take your time coming back out of this pigeon pose. There's really no rush. You can even take 1 more full, complete breath. Okay, but eventually make your way back up so that your hands are back underneath your shoulders, and then rock over onto your left hip so you can swing the right leg around, and we'll switch sides. Right leg in front, we're going to bend the right knee, rock over onto the right hip, and swing the left leg around. Okay, and from here we get to really adjust the angle of the right knee before we even get into the posture. So put the foot where you want it, find that angle that is really pleasing for your hips, and make sure that the whole front of the left leg is on the floor, the top of the foot, the top of the thigh. Okay, and take some time just to activate the legs against the floor. Think of pushing down slightly, pulling inward slightly. Okay, and maybe your fingers are a little further out front toward the front of your mat, and that's fine. But wherever you are, a little bit uprightness in your upper body. Let's bend that left knee, point the left toe at the back of your head, okay? And let's play around with doing that a few times. Inhale, extend. Exhale as you bend it. Point at the back of your head. Take a handful more times. Working that hamstring, that glute, allowing some nice release in the hip flexor. Okay, the next time you bend that knee, you point the toe at the back of your head, hold it there. Maybe walk your fingers a little further back and lift your heart up. And then let it go. Drop your tail back to the floor, walk those hands out, and come all the way down to your pigeon pose. Let your back relax. Keep the floor, keep your feet gently pushing the floor away still, so both legs pushing down into the earth. Pulling the knees in. Nice breath. Real big release here in that right hip, left hip. Make sure they're level. If you like here, you can play with adding the twist by sliding that left arm under the right, and dropping your left shoulder. Okay, maybe interlace fingers, straighten your arms. Breathe the back of the shoulders. Keep the floor pushing away with your legs. All right, take your time coming back to center if you twisted. Take your time coming up on your elbows, and then eventually back up on your hands. You can roll it over onto the right hip now and swing the left leg out front and shake it out. Okay, from here, tuck your hands behind your knees and roll yourself back all the way down on the ground. Take a little time here, take some knee circles, rolling out your hips, that low back. And then release your legs long on the floor. Release your arms by your sides. And begin to let go of all the movement, the harnessing of the breath. And just be. Allow yourself to fully experience this moment, noticing your breath slow down and become a natural pace again. Notice your body softening into ease more with each breath. Notice everything about the moment, including thoughts, emotions, sounds from outside of your immediate environment. Let all of these be part of experiencing this moment directly and mindfully. Any tension that remained in your body just melting away here. Please keep resting just like this for as long as you can. This is where I'll leave you today. Thanks for joining me.